Good morning. So I had something I wanted to puzzle out a little bit. I have had a frequent requirement to download YouTube videos, and you should too. But the most effective tool I've found for performing this task is the YouTube downloader program on Linux. I think it's technically a Python program, but it works very well. It's frequently updated, and when YouTube adjusts whatever it needs to adjust in order to block that user agent, it seems to get updated quite quickly. Only had a few videos that for whatever reason failed to download on full update, but that's beside the point. So I have the best tool for performing this task, and that best tool is on a Linux box. So what I want to do, my most optimal workflow would be to have my cell phone with the YouTube video. So that's usually where I find it, because if I'm on a computer I'll just SSH in, but I'll have a YouTube video in the YouTube app, and what I want to be able to do is press share and share it to something, some kind of connector, and then have my computer at home, which is not internet accessible, download the file or download the video. So this presents a few challenges, some of which I've already solved. So that's why I'm trying to figure this out. The first step is my cell phone having a appropriate share application, and I don't really want to write anything for Android anymore. I probably could. There's actually lots of metacoding things and front ends and frameworks that make the process very easy, and I would recommend it, frankly. I'm just not interested. So I would like very much to not have to write my own I forget what it's called, like whatever connector to receive URLs. So in poking around in the URL connector, and there are apps that do some of these things probably a little bit better, I realized that Termux is one of the things that can receive URLs. So when I hit from the YouTube video, I hit share and share to Termux. Termux opens up, and Termux is an extremely well-featured Linux terminal that runs in a virtualized space on your cell phone, on your Android phone. Very cool. If I could have a phone that did not have Google, that was de-Google-ified, even just a PDA with Wi-Fi, no cell antenna. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be ideal. I could run Termux on that and do lots of work. But when I share to Termux, Termux says populating, I think it's a home directory /bin/URL share link connector, whatever. So it looks like it passes that, or passes the URL to that as a single argument. So just create that bash script and tested the input, and it receives it as a standard argument, which is perfect. That's what we're looking for. So the question is, from my phone with all the power of most of the power of Linux in Termux, how am I to grab that URL and to establish communication with my computer at home to perform the download? Now we can do interstitial stuff where it drops it in drops it on my DMZ on my server, and then the computer at home, the tower at home, connects to the server. It's generally connected anyways, so that might be a possibility. So I'm thinking of SSHFS for connecting, because right now I SSHFS the local. Okay, he stopped. I SSH the local, the tower box to my server, which, by the way, is awesome. The SSHFS is a little slow when populating folders with lots of files, but that's primarily like if you're in a graphical file browser. Otherwise, it's quick, it's fast, it's nice. Plus, it's easy to read and write stuff to and from it very, very simply. And programs like Emacs, it's entirely transparent on Linux to all of these programs, so it's, the autosave files all go through, everything works as if it were local, which is just brilliant. It doesn't make copies like Dropbox does, but that's beside the point. So if I were to use SSHFS to access the tower system from my server, then I would have file system access to write files over there, which is doable. That actually might be the best solution, because then I can do all the processing on the server. I would rather not fill up the server, though. This problem is derived from a recent download of a YouTube video that was like 5 gigs unprocessed, and the server's a very light Linux install. I run light, so there's not a lot of storage space on there. So it was like that 5 gig file plus the 5 gig conversion file, like that grew to that size to the point that it just locked up. And when I say locked up, I mean it functioned normally but wouldn't allow me to do file writes or any temporary file system access for like auto completion and stuff like that. So once I was able to clear out some space, it might make sense to perform the download and the conversion on the server, and then once that's done, move it from the server to the tower using SSHFS. That's probably the cleanest way of doing it. But in cases like yesterday, it would cause problems. The best way to do it is to initiate some type of... that's pretty clean. So YouTube-DL is the program, but YouTube Downloader has some kind of check that it performs, where it checks the existing file system. So if I have a script that has 10 videos and it starts and it fails to download one, or I interrupt it in the middle, and I rerun that script later, it'll run over those first previously downloaded videos and say video is already downloaded, until it gets to one that it has not already downloaded, and then performs the function. So it wouldn't be that bad to have a file and a cron job set up. It would be pretty simple. Yeah, that would be pretty easy. Yeah, I think I'll probably do that. Good. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I will perform... Yeah. Okay. Alright, so I'll do the share on my phone. I'll be in the YouTube app, looking at the video that I like, and I'll say, I'll download this. I'll hit share to Termux. Termux will then forward the URL to my server, or it'll pass it to a script, and the script will forward that URL as an argument to my server. Well, no, I can send it. I can curl it as post data. That way, I won't have to de-translate the HTML, because when the HTML comes, the URL, there's a URL translation for like special characters, and YouTube does have some special characters, not like ampersands and stuff like that. Yeah, so that might make sense. Yeah, as post data, it should come across just fine, though. All right, so I'll send it across as post data to my server, and I'll make a special URL for receiving that. And that is one of the cool things about having a custom Python web server, is you get to do weird stuff that would not normally be expected, like respond with a 404 in order to ensure that there's no weirdness going on. Yeah, I can do some verification on the URL as well. That's just fine. So once the URL is received by the server, and the server verifies it and says yes, this is okay, it'll dump it into a file or append it to a file on the server that is accessible by the tower through the SSHFS system. And then I can just have a cron job that kicks off at midnight, although I'll probably want it to be immediate, because that's the kind of guy that I am. It's probably fine. It'll populate that file, and then there'll be a cron job on the tower that reads the file as a script, just a shell script to run YouTube DL in a certain folder. And that's it, I think. Yeah, they can be organized later. Cool. I think that's the cleanest. An alternative would be... Yeah, I'm not really comfortable with that. See, I have some systems that I have solid control over, and I'll do auto login. You know, I'll exchange keys so that system can log into my server without password exchanges. But I'm not too keen on doing any type of automated connection from the server back to my tower. That said, there's definitely, you know, limitations and custom interesting stuff I can do with something like that. You set up something that all it does is... Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though. It doesn't even have to have shell access, because that's the thing you want to avoid. You want to limit as much... make the service as limited as possible, so that all it can do is execute, you know, YouTube-DL space, and then 12 characters or 8 characters or however long the YouTube thing is, and also exclude other things. There's probably a way of doing it. So, if I created a user on my tower system and gave that user limited access so that all it could do is basically run one program and access one folder, then I could SSH from my phone through a tunnel on my server to reach the tower system and log in as that user, and then execute the code directly. It's a lot less cruft. Plus, that'll be a fun exercise. I think I'll do that. Whichever. You do the one that works the best first, that gets you there fastest, and then you adjust from there. So I'll probably do the first one, depending on how easy it is to get that user set up. Okay, whatever.